Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Unbearable Boss, back at it again, and today we're leaving off where we started off. Come on in, let me explain. As you can see, my house is empty. That's because I am no longer renting. I'll be releasing a video explaining what's going on in my life. But to sum it up, it is September 2nd of 2025. I got married July 10th of 2025. And then literally a week afterwards, we went house shopping, me and my wife. And we found this house during the last week of July. And we've been spending the entire month of August making it work. And we were able to agree on what we wanted in terms of cost and financially. And we went through with it. And now, at age 23, I am a homeowner, technically all done with a single income. So to all the people out there who say it is impossible to buy a house in your early 20s under one income, it's BS. The system is telling you this to keep you down. But let's just walk around the house for the final time. Power got shut off, so it's a little dark. But if you guys remember, this is where the original game room used to be. I did a lot of great things in this room. You guys remember in my original video, this used to be my brother's room. And shout out to my brother, because when we first moved into this house in 2023, the only reason why I was able to get it done was because while I was working the entire the second week of August to the second week of September, in that time frame in 2023, my brother was packing up everything of ours so we can move into this house. So I was able to take a week off, move all this stuff while he was helping my dad and get his room finished. So when he moved in, all he had to do was unpack. Forgot that. It goes to a mini fridge.
Oh, whoops.
My wife's holding the camera for this one. But after my brother moved out and moved back to Texas, not long afterwards, my wife and I decided to turn this into our game room office. Because this was a spare room, a guest room, for probably the remainder of the month. And then I was able to convince her to move everything to this room. And we turned the old game room into our guest bedroom. And down over here, the guest bathroom. You guys remember that? Looks a bit different now that everything's empty. The kitchen, and just like my original video, the most magic really did happen in this room. I lived in this trailer for 2 years, and yeah, a lot of the magic did happen in here. And I don't just mean sexually, like there was some really memorable things that happened in this kitchen. at the time we did that 3-meat ramen challenge. And I put a clickbaity thumbnail or clickbaity title, like, could I be the next Noodle King? And like literally that video did good view-wise, but it's like one of my most disliked videos. Should knock me a water valve. But yeah, this used to be our surplus supply items and laundry room. The shed out back is completely empty. We got all of our stuff moved out. Just checking drawers. Fridge, completely empty. Except for that. I'll throw that away. Boy, it stinks so.
Yeah. I was going to clean that out, but no power.
Went ahead and put a new air filter in. And master bedroom. A lot of memories were made here too. I will miss this. The one negative thing about the other house, because it's an older house, it was built in the early 60s. The concept of the master bedroom had not been mainstreamed yet, so in the other house, there are 2 rooms that are the exact same size, and one that's slightly smaller. And then there's a half bathroom and then a full bathroom, but there is no master bath or master bedroom. 2 things I will miss. Especially my walk-in shower. That's one of my favorite things about this house.
Mm-hmm.
My wife loved the jacuzzi. I remember one time she had a really rough day. It was around Valentine's Day, so I think on Valentine's Day, after I burned the first steak, I made the second one. I also baked potato, a bottle of her favorite champagne, and I had a nice, hot, bubbly bath in the jacuzzi waiting for her. Oh yeah,
It never really shut.
that door never shut. And the living room. In this room, I finished off the video explaining that I got promoted to pumper. And I was able to make the money to finally move out on my own. I believe I was 21 years old when I moved out. I hope some of you guys get this when I say it is. Part of me is emotionally hurting that I am leaving this place because there's just so many memories, all the good times, the bad times. This is the house where I got my very first nice truck, a truck that I wasn't limited by income. I could actually go out and get a vehicle that I wanted. It wasn't a brand new truck by any means, but it was a truck that I've always wanted since it came out. And I was able to do that in this house. It was the house that I got to propose to my girlfriend at the time, and she became my fiance. Then I went on to make more money than I ever had. I've made more money from my previous job, but I was never able to go far with that money. I made significantly less money make half what I made at my last job doing this, but I don't know, I always felt like I got more out of this job than my last. I was able to do that in this house. And this is the house I got married in. Man, it just hurts saying goodbye. Because saying goodbye usually means the end of something. In this case, it's the end of making more memories in this house. If I could, I would have. Originally, I was planning on the finance this trailer and move it on some private property and live in it. Then over time, build my own house. But that dream kind of like fell flat on its face, like out the gate. And it had nothing to do with money. It's just the way they had it set up. They wanted me to finance the trailer. But the problem is, like, I couldn't move the trailer off the lot until it was fully paid off. And at the time, this trailer was right around $85,000. And most working class individuals don't have $85,000 laying around. And that's for the price of the trailer, not the price of the land that I gotta put it on, then having to drill a well for water, drill a septic tank, having to get electricity out there and get internet out there. So, it didn't work out, but I'm very grateful because I never thought at 23 years old I would be married to the woman of my dreams, still be working for an incredible company, making pretty good money for someone my age, still have the same nice truck I got all those years ago, and doing pretty good. Not having to struggle, not living paycheck to paycheck, surrounded by good people, feel more love than I've ever had in my life. And I genuinely thought after my mother passed away that it would be very hard to find happiness, let alone having the happiness that I felt those last few weeks before she passed. But life has a funny way of working out. Even though my mother wasn't here, we each of the children were given necklaces with ashes of her in it. And I wore that necklace when I proposed to my wife. I wore that necklace when I married her. And I wore that necklace when I closed on my house last Friday. So, oh fuck. Even though she wasn't physically here, she was still here. I made sure to include her in all the big things. Because that was the one thing I was upset about, is just my life was just beginning and she was going to miss the best parts. But I made sure that she was still included. If I could, I would bring this house with me. Not because it's a good house, but because of the memories that were made in this house. They were priceless. But we're moving on to better things. I get to spend the rest of the month of September unpacking. And getting comfortable. I won't be moving for a while. Pretty much for the longest time, because of my dad's job, we would only live in one spot for 2 years, and then we would move on to somewhere else. Rather that be a different house, a different county, a different town, hell, even a different state. Oklahoma is the longest place I've ever lived. I lived all over Texas, don't get me wrong, but like Oklahoma has been the only place where I've been able to stay in one spot. Funny enough, I didn't break the cycle with this because literally we are just right under the 2-year mark. Because I moved in the middle of September of 2023 and now I'm leaving at the beginning of September of 2025. And I'd like to thank everybody in my life that was able to be a part of it. And thank you guys. I can't wait to show you the next chapters of my life, because it's only up from here. And if I could give you a message to hold in your heart, it's this. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Because since I tried buying a house all the way in early 2024, I was told it was impossible. That the days of buying a house in your early 20s and only needing one income to do it was just impossible. And at the time it did, with the high inflation and interest rates at the time, it did feel impossible. But here we are in 2025. I finally did it. And I'm glad you guys were able to be here to be with me along the way. It's time to close this door for the final time and open the door to the future. Love you all very much, and I'll speak to you again real soon. I'm Bearable Boss out.